Okay, so we're making our way through our 7 core structures. We've done our 2 sentences, and now we're ready to get into our fragments. So our first fragment, first of the 5, is what we're going to call possessive fragments. Any idea what a possessive might be?
Possessive, like gin?
Nothing to do with gin. Think grammar here. Grammar. So a possessive fragment is a fragment basically that denotes ownership or indicates ownership.
Oh, that kind of possession. Okay.
Yes. So let's look at an example. That'll help solidify it.
Okay.
So if we look at something like the turtle's shell, can you tell me how this is possessive or how this denotes ownership?
Well, the turtle has a shell, right? So it's almost in the sense that the turtle possesses a shell, right?
Right. The turtle is the owner of the shell, right? So this fragment, right, it's a fragment that shows ownership, right? And that kind of actually leads us into the parts of the fragment. So every possessive fragment will be made up of an owner, right? The one who owns the thing.
Okay,
and
so
then,
the turtle in this case.
Yep, the turtle in this case would be the owner.
Okay.
And then the second part of a possessive fragment is what we call the item. And the item is the thing that's owned by the owner, right? The thing that the owner has. So the item here would be
the shell, right?
Right, the shell.
So let me just make sure I have this clear. So you have possessive fragments. It denotes ownership. And there are 2 parts to a possessive fragment, the owner and the item. So the owner is the one that owns a thing, and the item is the thing that is owned.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay, let's look at another example. The athletes of France. The athletes of France. Can you tell me what's going on here?
Well, France has athletes, right? So France would be the owner and athletes would be the item?
Exactly. Good.
Okay. So in the case of the turtle shell, we had the owner coming before the item, but in this case we have the item coming before the owner. What is there a reason for that?
Right. So when you're determining owner item, you're not looking at sequence, you're just thinking of it logically, right?
Okay.
Ask yourself who is the one owning in this case and what do they own?
Okay,
right?
I got it.
So it's more of a logical thing. Okay, another example here. Let's look at the smell of pasta. The smell of pasta. Is this something that denotes ownership?
Kind of. I mean, there's an of like there is in the example before it, and I guess pasta has a smell, but a smell isn't really like a thing, so is it a possessive?
It is actually, it is. And the bottom line is that pasta has a smell, right? So you have pasta acting as an owner, right? Smell acting as an item. And the thing to note here is that owner item doesn't necessarily have to be something tangible, right? The item doesn't have to be something you hold in your hand, right? So this is possessive.
Okay.
And like you said, pasta would be our owner. And the smell
is our item.
Yep.
Okay.
The item. Okay. Can you tell me what's going on here? My sister's cats.
My sister's cats. Well, I have a sister. So I am the owner,
right?
And my sister is the item. And then my sister also has cats,
right?
So cats are also.
No, you're on the right track. This is actually what we call a possession chain, right? A possession chain. A possessive chain is something that indicates ownership. So you, like you said, you have a sister. So my is the owner and sister is the item. But your sister also has cats, right? So your sister would be the owner, and then cats would be the item. So it's a chain. And your sister here is kind of like it's playing both roles, double agent. So in relation to you, right?
She's the item, but in relation to the cats, she's the owner.
Exactly.
So sister is kind of like a owner item.
Yeah. We can call it that. It's like a combo.
Okay.
Right? It's playing both roles.
Okay.
So my is what we'd call the owner. Sister is what we'd call the owner item. And then cats would be just the item. Right?
Okay.
Just the item. So that's how a possessive chain is going to look. You're going to have an owner. You're going to have an owner item, right? The thing playing both roles. And then you're going to have the item.
Okay.
Is that clear?
I think so, yeah.
Let's look at another example.
Okay.
Her aunt's husband. What's going on there?
Well, she has an aunt.
Right. Which makes her the...
So she is the owner. Aunt is the item. But also her aunt has a husband. So aunt is the owner item, and husband is the item.
Exactly.
So she has an aunt, and her aunt has a husband.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's actually a method you can use to help you through this if you get stuck. Just rearrange it. She has an aunt, and her aunt has a husband. Right?
Okay.
And if we were to do that with the previous one, right?
I have a sister, and my sister has cats.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Let's look at one more. Her cousin's car.
Her cousin's car.
His cousin's car, sorry.
Oh, his cousin's car. He has a cousin, and his cousin has a car. So he is the owner.
Yep.
Cousin is the owner item, and car is the item.
Exactly.
Okay. I think I got it.
You got it. Okay. One last example here. The Lord of the Rings. What's happening here?
The rings have a lord, and the lord has... Oh, there's no possessive chain here. It's just a normal possessive. You just have the lord is the owner, and the rings are the item.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is a normal possessive.
Normal
owner
possessive.
and item.
Okay.
So we have possessives, right, where you have an item and an owner. And then we have possessive chains, where you have an owner, and then an owner item, and an item.
Okay. Easy
Makes
enough.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
We clear on possessives?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So, remind me again. What is a fragment by definition?
So a fragment is a string of words that do not form a full thought. So it's a string of words that is not a full sentence. It doesn't have an is or an action.
Exactly, right? So a fragment doesn't form a complete thought. So will you ever see a fragment just sitting there on its own?
I guess not, because it doesn't form a full idea.
Exactly, it doesn't form a full idea. So this is a key thing I want you to remember. A fragment will always be part of a sentence, right? Fragments never appear on their own. They'll always appear within a sentence.
Oh, okay. Can we take a look at an example?
Yeah, let's look at an example. So here, we're looking at, I love the smell of pasta. What kind of sentence are we looking at here?
It's an action sentence because we have the action love.
We have the action love, so love is our action. And then help me find my other parts.
Okay, I am the doer because I'm doing the action of loving.
I am the doer.
And the smell of pasta would be the receiver because that is what I love. It's receiving the action of loving.
And then what do you notice about our receiver here?
It's a possessive because you have the of. You have that owner relationship.
Exactly. So you see how we have a fragment sitting inside of a sentence.
Okay, I see.
Right?
Okay.
You never walk up to someone and say, the smell of pasta.
Right?
You never just go and walk up and say possessive, you know? But you'll see it in a sentence, right? You'll see it appearing in a larger context.
So will it always be the receiver?
No, it won't, right? It can play any role in any kind of sentence.
Okay.
So we'll look at more examples and you'll see how that works. The Lord of the Rings is an awesome movie. Tell me what's going on here.
This is an is sentence.
Right, it's an is sentence.
You have the is.
The is.
The Lord of the Rings is before is.
Before is, and then?
An awesome movie is the after is.
Is the after is.
Okay, I see. So the Lord of the Rings is a possessive, but in this case it's playing the role of a before is because it's coming before the is.
Exactly.
All right.
Perfect. So we saw it playing the role of a receiver. Now we see it playing the role of before is. Let's look at another example. My sister's cats ruined her couch. What are we looking at here?
An action sentence.
This is an action sentence because
ruined is an action.
Ruined is an action.
My sister's cats did the action of ruining.
So that would be the?
That would be the doer.
Doer. And then?
And they ruined her couch, so her couch is the receiver because they are receiving the action of being ruined.
Okay. And then what about fragment-wise? Anything going on here?
Well, my sister's cats, we saw that earlier. It's a possessive chain.
Right.
Because I have a sister and my sister has cats. So we have a possessive chain playing the role of the doer, but we also have her couch, that's another possessive, playing the role of a receiver.
Right.
So you can have a possessive in more, not just playing any role, but it can be playing roles in more than one part of the sentence.
Yep.
Okay.
The key is that it's always going to be in a sentence, right? And then beyond that, it's flexible, right? Where it can appear flexible. So get one more example. That is his cousin's car. What are we looking at here?
This is an is sentence.
Is sentence, because we have our
is. And then that is before is.
Right.
His cousin's car is after is.
After is. And then what's going on fragment-wise?
So fragment-wise, we have an after is a possessive chain because he has a cousin and his cousin has a car.
Good. And so our possessive in this case is playing the role of?
After is.
After is.
Okay.
So are we clear on that? So to recap, right, what is a possessive fragment?
A possessive fragment is a fragment that denotes ownership.
And every possessive fragment will have an
owner and an item.
And then what in a case like my sister's cats, what's going on there?
That's what we call a possessive chain. So that's when you have one word that's a double agent because it's acting as both the owner and the item. So in the case of my sister's cats, the word sister is both the owner and the item.
Right, exactly. And then what's the one thing to know about fragments? All fragments.
All fragments will always appear in a larger sentence because they don't make sense just on their own.
So here we saw possessive fragments within a sentence. And can they play any role? Only receiver, only doer, only before is?
They can play any role. So it can be before is or after is in an is sentence, or it can be a doer or receiver in an action sentence.
Okay. All clear? Any questions?
No, I think it's clear.
Okay, so that's our first fragment under our belt.